Welcome back to Skyline Stroll. In today's video, we're going to be talking about goal setting and maintaining and how to maintain motivation. Yes, I know, beginning of January and we're doing the obligatory goal video. Woohoo! Well, it's as good a time as any. I don't think people should really be interested in pursuing like New Year's resolutions as much as they should be figuring out what they actually want to get done this year and breaking that into smaller goals. So while we walk today, I'm going to go over what I've been doing to set goals. I've been at it since November, and so far it's going pretty well. I'm actually getting some things done and can see differences in each day. So let's have a good walk, enjoy the snow, and talk about setting goals for a better tomorrow. So this will be my first video about something less about the mind and more external, but I guess it does tie into the mind because being able to set concise goals and manage them and manage your space and time better, all that will help you develop more mental clarity and have more peace in each day. So we are going to talk about habit building, goal setting, maintaining motivation, stuff like this too, here on the channel. And as much as my focus is going to be more on soul searching and the mind and getting out into nature and seeing the world, I think we'll also do a little bit of talking about this stuff because it's part of the growth journey. So, and actually one of my strong points, admittedly, I've been kind of setting small goals and maintaining a to-do list and things like that for a long time, and I have conquered a couple of bigger hurdles in my life over the years. So I guess you could say I have a little bit of experience on this topic. And so for the longest time, my to-do list would really just help me maintain my area. Like, it would get me to do the dishes regularly, keep my room tidy, actually get the laundry done, actually take my dog for a walk, not just myself. And the snow is making it slick again. But the issue is I would sometimes put harder tasks on my to-do list, but I was too forgiving with it. Like I would just if I didn't do it, I would cross them off and just rewrite them later on the to-do list and try again. And I guess that did get me to tackle harder things I needed to get done a little, but it wasn't the most productive. And I never quite put time constraints on myself. My time management skills were, well, horrible when I was younger. So I would just really let time get away from me, really spend too much time on a project or something fun, really just let my days slip by, not put a lot of effort into my appearance or my environment or even my health. And those were definitely things I had to learn to do better. The setting to-do list and small goals definitely helped me move in that direction, but also kind of gave me a false sense of getting things done. Like I'd check that I cleaned the room and that I did the litter box and that I went and grabbed the mail, but at the end of the day, the hard thing I was avoiding that I actually needed to do, I'm not even going to list any examples, but it was getting ignored because I was too busy doing the dishes. So you kind of get in this loop of false productivity sometimes. So the first piece of actual advice for goal setting is going to simply be pick larger goals that you know you need to get done that look lofty and or unobtainable, and figure out what's the very first thing you could do to make them obtainable. Make that a high priority goal. And you can still use a checklist to keep yourself consistent and productive and hygienic and all that. But I think having bigger goals set out and having some time constraints on them and having a set time to review your progress on them will greatly raise the amount of progress you see on a regular basis in your life. So, a lot of people say pick like 3. I do recommend kind of starting small and getting in the habit of setting goals to begin with and picking ones that you know you can achieve to start, kind of like I did. That way, once you have your idea of what you actually want to be doing, you at least have a habit of tackling goals and being consistent and actually reviewing your progress. And you'll get little hits of dopamine from accomplishing even the little shit. So, try some of this. And then once you have a habit or a skill developed of goal setting at all, then you can try and pick out some harder goals that you really need to get done and give yourself like a month or 2 block to be like, okay, I have this big task I need to do. If I got to have it done by February. And at the end of like January, you would review your progress and ask yourself, am I halfway to where I wanted to be in February? Or you, if you're more already into the habit setting thing and the goal setting thing, you can review it once a night at the end of the night, once a week at the end of the week, whatever fits into your schedule best. That's when you should be reviewing your habits. And person going by. Oh, here's another. Cool. So, goal setting can be tricky because it is a little discouraging the first time you just like don't achieve what you're interested in, and instead you're sitting there like, man, I didn't do it. Like that, like you're actually looking at the check mark and you can't take it because you didn't do it. Like that doesn't feel good. But it happens. We're not gonna have 100% accuracy when we shoot for our goals, but we are gonna get better at aiming at them with each shot fired. So don't get discouraged. If you feel like it just looks like so much work and you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm up for all this. This is going to be a long time, a serious commitment. What if I commit now and later on it don't work out? Okay, here's something to think about. You have to do all that time anyways. You have to be alive and get up each and every one of those days anyway, right? So why not try and do more with that time? Why not look at it like, well, I'm gonna have to be there, be somewhere, I'm gonna have to do something. Might as well shoot for it to be the thing I actually want it to be. And I actually kind of learned this from my last romantic partner. She kind of had this mindset of, instead of like, oh, where should, like, what if I fail? What if I get here and it doesn't work out? She would just be like, well, I have to do something with that time anyways. And I think it did push her to be more productive with each thing she did. So that was cool. And I kind of learned it after the fact, but I was like, oh, that's smart. And on top of that, once you have some big goals picked out, you're going to notice that they maybe just look unapproachable. Like you're genuinely looking at some task that you've never been able to do, that's always looked like an unconquerable hurdle, and you're thinking, where do I even start? Well, that's a terrific question. That is the exact question you need to be asking right now. Because you don't just set a goal and then get out the easy button from Staples and hit it and the goal is accomplished. You gotta break it down into as much total detail as you can muster. Each and every realistic step that needs taken. English is awesome. So that's what I get for making funny English. Anywho, the more detailed your goals are, the better. So, like, for instance, if you're interested in being, like, a social media star, right? We're on YouTube. Why not use that as the example? then you would want to figure out where you actually start with that. Not just like, oh, I'll go post something funny and hit viral and yeah. It's like, no, how consistently do I need to post? What should I be posting? I should look at engage, like all of that. You would set those kind of goals, not like, oh, I want to have this many followers. Or like if you were interested in fitness, your goals wouldn't be get jacked. Your goals would be gain this many pounds in this much time doing this set of workout. Instead of just, oh, get jacked. That's not a goal. That's an idea. Learn to split them up. And sometimes there's a thin line between them. Sometimes it's like, is that a lofty dream or is that a just high sitting goal? I can't tell. And the answer is, well, if you start tackling the bottom tier of that goal, chances are you'll find that you can find the answer. Was it a lofty dream or a pipe dream? Was it an actual obtainable goal? And if you start moving towards it and it's something you want, say, why shouldn't I go for this? Okay, let's do it. Let's see what happens. The worst that can happen is it doesn't work out. But that's going to happen in life no matter what we do. So try and pick where your energy is going to go. That's mainly what goal setting is all about, just channeling your energy into something you actually want to happen, be it internally or externally. On my sheet of goals, I have everything from save up 10 grand to learn to be more compassionate and understanding with others. So goals can also be used to help you sort your mind in a way. And it doesn't always have to be materialistic. There are many, many different ways you can utilize this skill. And so after you break it down into great detail, you're going to want to separate that goal into like parts. That way you can tackle it in bite-sized chunks and actually get her done. When you look at something as a whole, it can look like a lot, but when you look at it in each piece, you can break it down more precisely. And wow, a lot of traffic for a snowy day. You gotta add up all the detail, break it down into the different parts, and ask what's obtainable now and what isn't, and try to be so realistic. Like, we can't just jump to the end of the book. Like, that isn't how it works. You gotta get there, you gotta get through the story, you gotta do all the steps to be really good at whatever you want to be really good at. You gotta ride the ladder up. You don't just get to start at the top. Some do, but you can't compare yourself, because that also won't help you reach your goals. If you're like, oh, this person is 5 years younger than me and has everything I'm working towards, that happens. Everyone has a different set of conflicts and problems and weaknesses that they have to overcome in their life. You're not necessarily seeing their battles, you're just seeing like your biases and opinions applied to the aspect of their life you can see. So comparison is a half-truth at best, and on top of it being a half-truth, it doesn't serve you. You should be comparing to your past. Where was I 5 years ago? Where was I a decade ago? What goal did little child version of me set that I can actually maybe obtain now and make myself feel good? Learning to actually set hard goals and tackle them will give you a good sense of self-respect and appreciation of yourself. And those are going to be critical in actually working on yourself. If you don't actually respect yourself, which you can't just flip a switch and say, okay, I respect myself. You have to earn it from you. So maybe if you're a week into the new year and you're like, resolutions are for chumps, that's fair. But maybe goals aren't. maybe goals aren't for chumps, and you should pick a couple that aren't gonna break your back, but might actually make the rest of this year pretty good. Write them down somewhere and see how you do. Hit it each week and come back to it. Don't be afraid to be flexible. Like, don't be afraid if you find halfway through working on something to switch gears. If you find that you need to do something else, or that you're halfway into something and are finding out now you don't care for it, that doesn't mean you have to follow through. That's called the sunken cost fallacy, and I think we all do a little bit of it. So just remind yourself, it wasn't time wasted. I genuinely accrued information and skill while I worked on that, and I know more than I did beforehand. Even if it's just that I don't want to do that now, you know something you didn't beforehand. So try to break the sunken cost fallacy if that's something that regularly trips you up, and try to re-tackle these goals. If you find yourself falling short of them, well, that's just going to happen the first couple of times you actually try and go at these goals. So try to instead... Ooh, sorry. A little gassy. Instead, try to come back at it with fresh energy, and instead of looking at it like you got denied or you're not going to make it, look at it like, okay, I learned something from that fall down. Now I can tackle it from a new angle. So remain flexible in your goal setting and decision making. Things change constantly, including you if you're actually working on yourself. So don't be afraid to switch gears 2/3 of the way through a project or whatever else. Life, I'm sure, will pull you in the direction you need to go in. So we're out here, and it is cold. I almost didn't want to record today, but I said, no, you were probably going to take a walk anyways. Let's get that 11th video filmed. And so here we are, actually getting it filmed, and goals are getting obtained by me. Like, I am actually getting my harder things I thought I couldn't do done one by one. So give yourself a chance. Shoot for the stars, because if you shoot for the sky, you have nothing to aim at. So aim high, believe in yourself, and thrive for the future that you think you actually deserve. Because chances are you're a couple of different decisions you haven't made in the past away from the day you actually want to have. So you guys have a good day. Stay warm if you're somewhere where the weather's coming in. And I'm sure I'll see you in the next one, where we're probably going to go back to talking more about like the mind and healing and stuff like that. I just kind of wanted to mix it up for this one and break out the goal setting video. So have a good day. Stay warm. Alright guys, so I actually had one more thing I wanted to add to today's video. Simply put, it's rewarding yourself for actually achieving these goals. At the point in the video where I was talking about breaking the goal down into smaller, more detailed goals, you should add in small rewards when you achieve major milestones in what you want to get done. So if you hit a big checkpoint in one of your larger goals, go out, get yourself a treat, do something cool for your hobby where you normally wouldn't let yourself spend money on it or something, but treat yourself, like, actually. So good luck on goals, maintaining motivation in 2025, and any New Year's resolutions you might have set. I'll actually see you in the next one.